Welcome to the Transforming Healthcare Coaching Podcast, where we bring you guidance and coaching perspectives so that you can level up in your life and work.
I'm Klaus Grim, your host for today's episode, and I'm thrilled to be here with you today. Our mission at Transforming Healthcare Coaching is to revolutionize healthcare by empowering clinicians and leaders like you to thrive both at work and in life. I'm excited to introduce to you our guest speakers today.
Hi, I'm Gillian Faith, and my healthcare experience comes from rehabilitation services as a clinician and also a clinical leader in both Scotland and the USA. I have also spent years in human resources management. I like to work with clinical managers, healthcare executives, and also clients who are experiencing overwhelm and stress. They may be dealing with conflict, or they may have important decisions or transitions to make.
Hello, I'm Griselda Anguiano, mental health pediatrician and certified professional coach. My passion lies in partnering to empower parents as they navigate the joys and challenges of raising neurodiverse children, or as they themselves seek support for their own neurodiversity. Through a holistic and collaborative approach, I strive to foster resilience, understanding, and growth in families.
Hi, my name is Amy, life transition and career coach. From mind-body therapist to an ultrasound technologist, I've worked hands-on with thousands of clients. I understand the challenges of balancing work and self-care, especially in the healthcare field. We work together to ignite your inner motivations and line up your goals with your career and your personal life. Sometimes a simple shift is all it takes.
I'm Lillian Liang Emlet, and I wear many hats. I'm an adult intensivist, emergency physician, and a simulation educator. I'm also a single mom, Peloton junkie, and a foodie. I went back to school and became a certified professional coach during the pandemic, mostly because of the pandemic, right? It shook up everybody's lives. And I also experienced the power of coaching my own life. And then I started this group. And so I'm super excited to be able to find aligned people who want to help all of healthcare together.
And I'm an emergency medicine and urgent care physician assistant and clinical assistant professor practicing in the Boston area. I enjoy partnering with healthcare professionals across all specialties, students, and frontline workers to empower them to thrive in their personal and professional lives by reclaiming joy at home and at work and turning their life goals into reality. In today's episode, we are talking about how and what to get coaching on. So what are some common challenges healthcare workers face that might prompt them to seek coaching?
So for me, I think what I see are a couple buckets. One is that people just got a new promotion or are thinking about getting a new promotion, and they're wondering how to manage all of those things. And because it's new territory, they look for a coach. And then the other bucket I tend to see are people who seem to be either stagnating, just sort of struggling, trying to figure out how I'm going to get out of feeling stuck. And then the last one is they're worried that they're starting to get burnout and actually they just don't feel that things are in alignment for them anymore. And they've tried a bunch of different ways. They've tried their mentor, they've tried self-help, they've tried a bunch of different things, they've tried therapy even. They've tried all kinds of things and it just doesn't seem to be working. So they come to coaching and they discover that how it works.
And I've also seen where clients have come when they have an important decision to make and it seems like it's muddy out there. They don't have clarity. They don't really know what their options are. They maybe haven't spent time really digging down deep and really figuring out what that looks like. So I think a coach can be very helpful in gaining clarity, really brainstorming and looking at actually what the options are and helping the client make the right decision.
For me, I see a lot of people who come in with the mindset of, should I stay or should I go? And with that, they've invested so much into their career, not just loans, education, but the experience and really their blood, sweat, and tears. And yet they're at a point they just don't know how to make the changes so they can sustain. So we kind of peel the onion and look at all different options and ways to approach this.
And for me, a lot of people might just working with parents and mental health will come and say, I just can't do this. I can't be the parent my kid needs me to be and do the job. And so working on ways to be able to go back and do both and do both confidently. I think that's a big part where they come to me for coaching.
It sounds like a plentiful list that a lot of people seek coaching for, especially in healthcare. And I'll even add here is that I think a lot of healthcare workers, I think Lillian had mentioned burnout, that they're starting to develop these symptoms of burnout, and they may say, I need help. And in their search or their quest for help, they're thinking therapy, they're thinking mentorship. What resources does the hospital have? And they may stumble upon this term coaching, and they may not know exactly what it is, but they knew that they didn't need therapy because they don't want to be digging into the past, but they want to move forward. And that's where kind of this whole coaching methodology comes from, is that, hey, we're here to move you forward. And this is something that intrigues a lot of healthcare workers when they start to learn a little bit about what we do. So thanks for sharing that, guys. So I'd like to ask another question. What should healthcare workers look for when they're choosing a coach in healthcare? How do you ensure a good fit between a coach and a client?
So, when choosing a coach, you always want to have a discovery call. You want to have an introductory call that helps look at why you're looking for coaching. Does this coach have the right capability for you and for your situation? And it has to be a good fit. There has to be trust and there has to be respect. And hopefully that gets ironed out in a discovery call.
Yeah, and I think the reason why the discovery call is so important is because there's some of these intangibles in terms of how we relate with chemistry and also feeling seen and heard. I've heard some experiences of some individuals where they just didn't feel the chemistry, and that's why that discovery time is really important, because most great coaches will help give you enough time and enough conversation and exploration so that you can feel like you can trust them with different aspects of your life. Sometimes there's things you tell your coach that you don't tell anybody else, not even your spouse or your partner. And so it's really important to make sure that that relationship is something that you can believe in.
And we've also heard people saying that they've worked with a coach, but the coach didn't have a healthcare background, so they didn't really understand the issues and the situations at a deeper level. And I think that's one thing that differentiates transforming healthcare coaches is we all are currently or have been clinicians, so we really can understand what's going on in a healthcare setting.
Love the word, the discovery call. But I think for some people, if they hear about coaching or you should get coached about this, but actually coming to the discovery call and learning how much more can be transformed within your life, your career, your family, I think that's just a pivotal time to be able to connect with someone and see that there's so much more potential than you thought you were showing up for.
Yeah, I agree with that. It not only having the rapport with each other, not that you have to be best friends, but there's a foundation that you can build on. And the discovery call can also educate the person on the opportunities and the different areas that can be explored, as some people don't know what to expect. So it's a nice introduction to help the person get a sense, is this really for me? Is it for me? And then also, is this for the partnership of the coach and the client? And then you move forward from there.
Amazing. It's an introduction to what coaching is. For a lot of people don't understand what coaching is. And a lot of how we do discovery calls is kind of give you a little taste of coaching. So if you've never experienced before, you get to see a unique approach, like a little snippet of what the process is going to unfold. There are so many people out there that are doing or saying that they're doing coaching, and it could be misleading. And from what everybody's saying here, to make sure we're a good fit, that you can trust the coach that you're having that discovery call with, your secrets, your goals that you may not share with anybody else, that fit really needs to be there. And that discovery call just really launches things for most people. So I would encourage anybody who has an interest in moving forward with their goals to make a discovery call with the coach. And I will say one telltale sign that that discovery call, or I guess that coach is a good one for you, is that it's not a sales pitch. We're here because we truly enjoy the work that we do, and it's a no commitment call. So go ahead and book that discovery call.
I think people are very surprised at what the discovery call entails because they're surprised to be asked questions that they actually have to stop and think. It's really surprising how much of our conversations we have in our workplaces and with our colleagues and friends are very superficial and not thought provoking and not awareness provoking. And so having that discovery call really is about taking the time to think, reflect, and answer for yourself. And through that process, you actually get greater clarity.
How long are those discovery calls?
I mean, usually, ideally, 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And some people even take up to an hour, I've heard with some other coaches. For hours, they tend to be about anywhere in the 30 to 45-minute range.
So now that we kind of talked about the discovery call, what is the typical coaching process and how can we help healthcare workers integrate coaching into their busy schedules effectively?
So usually for the typical coaching process in our one-on-one packages, the first session really is an opportunity to take a unloading and just express all the different ways and concerns that the client comes to us, all of their problems, and really begin to just express, explain, unpack, and really so that we as the coaches can actually have a better understanding. And sometimes we often also in that very first session give a couple clarifying questions to begin that thought-provoking process in our client welcome package. And some clients come to us with, I have no idea what to talk about. And we show them the Wheel of Life, which is a diagram that helps people begin to reflect on different areas in their life. And so then once we have the shared understanding with very small accountability towards the next session, we actually administer our Energy Leadership Index or ELI assessment between the first and second session. And in that process, doing the energy leadership assessment and then the debriefing as the second session of our coaching package, the client then begins to have a greater depth and understanding of all the different ways they're showing up in life and having a shared common language to explain and see opportunities for how things can be different.
I also like to explain it as that initially we come up with the overarching goals, like the big picture, where they want to go. And that can change, but generally we have that idea. And then each session may have very unique and different specific goals. We always want to check back in and make sure we're headed towards the main overarching goal. But things change and priorities change, and something else can come up in a session that seems like it's unrelated, but yet it is all connected. So we take the time to really look at what the priority for the person is. I call it one size fits one. We just do what needs to be done for that person.
Just coming to every session, we usually ask, what would you like to focus on today? And especially with our careers, that there's going to be, you may want to talk about something that's happening at home or just the meeting you just had. And it's still helpful to process and it's still helpful. And it's amazing how it always still ends up going back to that eventual goal. We talk about values and we do values assessment. We talk about different things to support what you want to talk about. Also, I wanted to just add about the busy schedules. I've had one doctor says, this is just so important to me. I'm just going to book it and I'm going to try to see everyone who needs to be discharged first. And then I'm going to make an appointment. This is how I'm going to schedule it. I've had some that they purposely do it when they're going to be home or on an off day. So it just depends how you see it working in your calendar.
And I also offer some evening or weekend hours for, somebody that wants to have a coaching session during those times. Healthcare workers, some people are working shifts, some people aren't, but we would do our best to, work with schedules and make ourselves available.
That's the great thing of all of us being from that healthcare background is many of us work or have worked night shifts. Some of us work morning day shifts. So our team is here to accommodate the schedules of any shift worker. And so rest assured that there will be a time and a date that you can make an appointment with one of our coaches to get into this process of goal getting.
And we also offer different time zones. We are operating in different time zones. And I have also worked with somebody in the UK and I built in the 7-hour time difference and it worked.
Yeah. We like to accommodate to our clients because we've all been there. So for the final question, I'd like to ask, are there different coaching approaches out there that work for healthcare workers?
I think probably a generalization for everyone in the healthcare profession is that we're often very accustomed to being the caregiver. We're often very accustomed to having a highly perfectionistic sort of attitude towards our performance, and that we often have forgotten what it's like to be playful and curious and grow and move forward rather than have a fixed mindset, which is all about the outcome that is desired as expected. because that is what our protocols and what our clinical training has trained us to do. And so I think what's really special about coaching healthcare clinicians and executive leaders is the fact that we understand sort of your bias, your current pair of sunglasses that you're wearing. And we also, in our experience, have been coached ourselves. And so we now have many pairs of sunglasses that we can try on to help you see a different way. And so I think a lot of it is about re-energizing and re-tapping back into the resilience and the awareness and the foundational stuff inside each person in healthcare to be able to try something different. And through trying something different, you actually learn and grow and actually achieve your goals.
Yeah, Lily, that's great. And how I really like to help people to tap back into that inner motivation and that inner spark. And especially when it can be so challenging in healthcare. And again, we've all been there. And I know I've been burnt out. I think some of us have. And so to be able to also showcase that this is doable, this is absolutely doable. And there are methodologies, and you do have it inside yourself. So again, we are that guide to help the clients to really reach their goals and find themselves again.
And it also depends how the client shows up at the beginning of the session, because the client's always in the driver's seat. Sometimes some people want to just offload stress and situations that have happened. Other times they want to be very goal-oriented and actually get help with attaining their goals. So I'm very, and I think I speak for all of us, we're very sensitive to how the client is showing up on that day at that time.
What's coming up for me with the different coaching approaches, I mean, I can't speak for others just because I was only trained through IPEC, but we do have extra training on transitions or leadership or performance, but it all comes down to the same types of things. What are your values? Why do you want to do what you want to do? And so it just depends, like as everyone is saying, what you come for, what you need help support with, and just getting through it.
Yeah, I think you guys touched on it all, and that there are a lot of different approaches, but the approach that we always come down to, despite our many certifications and backgrounds that we have with coaching and healthcare, is that we approach you with curiosity, but with fun and an anabolic outlook each time, and help you bring that energy forward into your everyday life. And I think that's the beauty of following your energy that we like to coach on. So thank you, everybody, for joining in on this discussion today about what our typical coaching process is like and how to get a coach. And for those that are listening, we encourage you to set up a discovery call if this in any way intrigues you or has made you curious about what it is that we actually do and maybe want a little taste of what it can do for you. It's a no commitment consultation call.
Thank you so much for listening to the Transforming Healthcare Coaching Podcast. If you found this episode interesting or useful, please share this with your friends and colleagues in healthcare. And we will love it if you hit subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Leave us a review on wherever you are listening to us. It means a lot to us, and we actually read every comment. Also, we want to help with the topics and problems that you want us to talk about. Email us with suggestions, feedback, and praise at podcast@transforminghealthcarecoaching.com. If you want deeper support for your life and work as a healthcare clinician and leader, head over to transforminghealthcarecoaching.com and see how we can partner together to meet your goals. Download your copy of our free 5 reflection questions to jumpstart your journey as you level up in your life and work, and get on our email list. Be the first to know about our coaching programs and what's coming. Together, we can transform healthcare, one person at a time.